Bucs Diaries has been brought to you by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers, and by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste known only to the king of beer. Bucs Diaries from the goalposts of Raymond James Stadium. Welcome back. In this day and age when a player talks about taking it to the house, he's referencing a trip to the end zone. But long before this phrase ever became popular, the Bucs had a wide receiver named Kevin House, with a knack for finding that painted patch of real estate known as the Promised Land and synonymous with his last name. Here's our own George Costeras with another edition of Whatever Happened to Kevin House.
Coming here with John McKay as the coach, this was a pretty loose bunch when I got here. Defensively, they were awesome. Offensively, we needed some guns still, and that's one reason they brought me in as far as the speed was concerned. But it was a loose bunch. Doug Williams was as crazy as all of them. Cecil Johnson on the other side of the ball, and they just had fun. When they played ball, they had a lot of fun.
If you're one of those Buck fans who yearns for the vertical passing game, you would have loved Kevin House. But as explosive as he would be during his 7 years in Tampa Bay, it took the tall, lanky kid from St. Louis a little time to get up to speed.
It took me about 9 games my first year to really get acclimated to how to play the game with the Buccaneers. I remember against Dallas, I kind of short-armed the ball and walked past John McKay, and he said, "Son, this is a man's game." So that pretty much, snapped me, and I woke up then. I think I had like 5 touchdowns the last 4 or 5 games.
After finding his comfort zone at the end of the '80 season, House became a regular in the end zone in '81, as he and legendary Bucs quarterback Doug Williams routinely torched opposing defenses.
He was the heart and soul of the team when I got here, and it was unfortunate the way it worked out, but Doug was the heart and soul of the offense. Even I think the defense pretty much thrived on seeing Doug's willingness and desire to win every ball game. Sometimes we didn't come out on the winning end of it, but Doug always gave the best.
House's numbers might have been even more impressive if not for Jimmy Giles, the Bucs' big play tight end.
Jimmy was probably the go-to guy when I got here. Him and Doug really had a good connection going. McKay liked to run the ball, so they sweep right, sweep left, and then throw it. So Doug used the tools that he was given. He might have thrown the ball once every series or two, but he did the best he could with what he had. And Jimmy and I had a little rivalry going. He thought he was a receiver. I said, "Jim, you're not a receiver, you're a tight end, so you need to get in there and block." But we had that little thing going, to see who could, outdo each other every game. And that was a good thing. It was a positive type of competition.
There's no doubt that the game has evolved since House retired in the late '80s, and the former second-round pick out of Southern Illinois says he likes most of what he sees in today's NFL.
The emphasis is definitely on the passing game. I mean, you have the 3 sets, you have 4 wide receivers in the game a lot now. When I played, we had the tight end, 2 receivers. So, people knew that I was going to go deep. So when we did connect, we had to work hard to do it. And but now you got so many guys that can run and spread the offense out, so you usually get good matchups every game. I get a little, not jealous, I won't say jealous, but I kind of feel sorry for myself that I came along so early, especially with that paycheck those guys are getting nowadays. That's what kills me, but, And then, some of the showboating. I was never showboat because they paid me to be a receiver, catch the ball, make first downs, so I don't have to, do the referee's job. So that kind of ticks me off sometimes. But
with head coach John Gruden guiding the Bucs offense, House says it's just a matter of time before his franchise record of 9 touchdown catches in a season is surpassed.
I know we got some guys here that are probably going to run by those records, like Keyshawn and McCardle. But this is a new era. People are catching 100 balls a year now. When I played, if I caught 50 and had 1,000 yards, and that's a great year. 5, 6 touchdowns, that's a great year. Now the standard has been raised, 100 balls a year, 1,500 yards, and you need at least 10 touchdowns or more.
Something that would have Buck fans everywhere, even Kevin House, smiling. For Bucs Diaries, I'm George Costeras.
And check out Kevin's numbers: 8th in scoring, 3rd in receptions, 2nd in yards. And he still lives here in the Tampa Bay area. He's a credit analyst with T-Mobile. Maybe he could introduce us to Catherine Zeta-Jones. Now that, Kevin, would be a catch. That's it for this week's show. Here's what's coming up next week on Bucs Diaries. Find out what the players do when they get the weekend off as the Bucs enjoy the bye. You'll meet a Buccaneer fan that truly gives new meaning to the term die hard. And General Manager Rich McKay sits down with us to offer his thoughts on the team, head coach John Gruden, and the state of the NFL. That'll do it for this week. Here's a special invitation for next Monday night. We'll join you from Ybor City for a little Latin flair. Until then, for our cast and crew here at Bucs Diaries, I'm Paul Kennedy, and we'll see you Monday night.